What does inspiration mean? English word.
The guidance that comes from within.
Okay. Uh, that is one aspect of it. Anyone else? What is inspiration? What do you the word inspiration, what comes to your mind?
Calling.
Good. Something within me comes which is inspiring me to do something. Generally a creative thing or a thing that is artistic. But anything in your life can inspire you to do something. But is that the only meaning? If you consider your breathing, is there something associated with inspiration? What do you call the inhalation of the breath? Isn't it? Isn't it? Inspiration, expiration. Why is the inhaling of the breath called inspiration and not the exhaling of the breath? Ever considered it? We have been using this language. Why? Because you see in your life, whenever a positive reaction happens in you, you always inhale. Ah, this is beautiful. Wow. Oh, don't you realize it? The exhaling is associated with decrease of energy, with rejection, with non-acceptance. And inhalation or inspiration is associated with acceptance, rising of energy, and all the positive aspects in life. So, is that the inspiration that is being spoken of by these great masters? Think about it. We are every day inhaling and every day exhaling so many number of times. Is that the answer? Can we keep on continuously inhaling only and not exhale? So, what is the answer? The answer is in breathlessness. The inspiration that we are talking of on the spiritual path is, like Swamiji said, in the stillness, in the calmness. A thought coming to you without you bidding for it, not willing for it. That is the difference. In life, yes, these inspiration, that inhalation, yes, it does help. It does help. Whenever, even the psychologist these days, or psychologist, or what do you call it? Psychiatrists. You go to them, what do they say? Whenever you are under tension, inhale. Watch your breath. Why is it said? They've also realized that with this, there is something related to the breath, which these yogis knew thousands of years ago. With their own practical experience, people are realizing it. But that is also very good for calming our minds, for attuning our minds. But what we are seeking on the spiritual path, and what Swamiji and what Master was saying in that whisper today, is something higher. You preparing yourself to receive the truth. And it exists. It's just Maya, since our very birth, has made it such that we are caught and we are using our physical senses, and through physical senses you will never know the truth. Very unfortunate, but that is it. So now, if we have understood that we cannot know the truth through our physical senses, what do we do about it? I'll tell you a story what happened, which I thought was inspiration for me, and what Swamiji is alluding in today's reading also. This must be about around 20 years ago, and I had come back from, I had come back from Kashmir, and I was posted in a place, and there was an officer who was staying with me in that room. And when I came back, I realized this guy is going around with some lady, and they are interested in each other. But as usually what happens, they had a disagreement on something, And they both stopped talking to each other. And I was staying with this guy and I could make out, okay, this guy is every after some time moment checking his mobile. That time the mobile was not this WhatsApp and all, it was just a simple message and all. But he's checking and there's no message, and then dejected. But ego was there. He was also not messaging her and she is also not messaging him. And a week passed. So this great so-called inspiration came to me. He had gone to the loo. I picked up his mobile and I messaged to her that I have realized now in the last 1 week that I have missed you and my love for you is true. And I sent it and then erased the message. But inevitably, by evening, she called him up and they were back to talking. In 3-4 days' time, when things were okay, suddenly the topic came up, okay, you sent the message. I didn't send the message. I didn't send the message. But by the time the things were patched and they got married to each other, they have 2 wonderful kids. And I was a VIP in that marriage. This guy is the guy who enabled it. But as what will happen in life, things started getting bad. And now both of them are united and not speaking to me because they blame me for my so-called inspiration. Now, this is how we believe we are getting inspired in life, but this is not inspiration. This is being swayed by what our feelings from within is. I am sure in all of us, our lives, we would have realized sometime or the other that a message kind of a thing comes to you out of the blue. You're not even asking for it. And the moment that thought comes to you, you know it is true and it comes to be true. I'm sure it would have happened. Even a simple thing like, say, for example, I am thinking of some friend and at that moment only he'll call up. Or in higher things, many other things happen. You suddenly come to know that this is going to happen. Has it happened? Sometime or the other. Why did it happen? Try and analyze why it does not happen always and it happens at certain times. Maybe one thing that was common was you were not wanting it. Come to me, an inspiration. Second thing, most probably you were calm at that time. And because you had no expectation and you were calm, you were able to access something which was already existing. But because most of the time in our lives, we are not centered, we are not calm, we are not still, we miss these messages which are coming to us all the time. And this is the actual inspiration that we do need in our life to progress on the spiritual path. How do you know what Master wants you to do? We keep on talking of attunement. What is attunement? Will Master come to me and speak in my ear, okay, Naveen, now go to the right side, don't go to the left side? It can happen that way also. What happened to Yogananda ji? You remember from Autobiography of a Yogi, when Sri Yukteswar was coming by the train, coming back, and he was with this friend of his in the room in Serampur. Sri Yukteswar came to him in vision and said that I am not going to come back by this train. And this friend of his, who was a co-disciple, Guru Bhai of his, said, what are you? I am going to receive Yukteswar ji. He went to the railway station. He didn't come. He came back, rejected. And by the time he came back, that time Sri Yukteswar came to him and he said, I am going to come in the next train. I am going to be wearing this dress. In front of me, there will be a boy walking, holding a kamandalu in his hand, and he'll be wearing this dress. And Yogananda, he told this to this friend of his. He goes, what are you talking? He says, come. And exactly same thing came to happen. What was happening here? And end result of it is what will happen to all of us. When this happened, this brother disciple asked Sri Yukteswar ji, why are you being partial? You sent this message to him, why not to me? He said, I sent it to you also. You were not still enough to receive. He was still enough to receive. There is where the answer lies. Stillness is what? Quiet Not only being physically quiet, being mentally quiet. You would have heard of Ramana Maharishi. Uh, mm, his first disciple, so-called disciple, was, I'm forgetting his name, some Muthu Swami or Ranga Swami, something like. I'm forgetting his first name. Swami was the last half. Now this person was a super educated soul. He was a professor. He was given the award of being the kind of a Raj Kavi of southern India at that time, and he had written books and so many things. He supposedly, whom he thought was his guru, he used to believe in him. But what happened? This guru was not a true guru, and he made a fool out of his disciples by making a tunnel from one place and going to the other place underneath a tree, and was doing this to fool people that I am doing a miracle. But this came to know, and this Muthu Swami, I'll use the word Muthu Swami only, I'm forgetting the first part of it. He was dejected. He says, what is this? And he just went to Tirumalai, you are aware of that place, and there in the Shiv temple, someone told him that there is one yogi sitting on top of that bloody mountain. He is said to have, a great guy. This guy walks up there, up, not at the place where the ashram is right now, up in a cave where Ramana Maharishi actually spent 5 years before he came down. Now this guy walks up because there were snakes and all there, and he goes up there and he sits in front of him, and Ramana Maharishi's eyes are open, but he is not there. Many hours pass, he keeps on sitting, and finally he registers that someone is there in front of him, and he used to speak hardly anything, and he said, okay, what do you want? And this educated, knowledgeable, all Vedas read and everything, starts telling what he wants, and he's speaking for 15 minutes. This thing, when I went this, and then I saw this, then I feel this, and then I feel this. And finally he paused, to which Ramana Maharishi said, shut up and listen. And the moment he said, shut up, Muthu Swami went quiet. And in that quietness, without a single word being spoken, he perceived the truth. And he never left his side. Ramana Maharishi was in state that he didn't even, he forgot to eat, forgot to take bath. 5 days, 10 days, sitting there, gone. Eyes are open and he's gone somewhere. This guy used to go get something from the village and feed it into his mouth. Why I am telling this story? Quietness, stillness. We will not know the truth by reading more and more, by listening to more and more talk. Yes, these things will help us to attune, to understand what I am seeking. But you will, in your own perception, know and only know when you are completely silent and still. And this is where inspiration comes from. Lahiri Mashaji's one of his very advanced disciple, who was a Guru Bhai of Sri Yukteswar Ji, Bhupender Sanyal. Now, Bhupender Sanyal was a very poor person. When Lahiri Mashaji went to Bengal, when he used to go from Varanasi to his wife's place, at that place, once while speaking something, Bhupender Sanyal met him. And the moment he met him, something changed in him. And Lahiri Mashaji went back to Varanasi. Now, Bhupender Sanyal did not have the money to even buy a ticket to go to Varanasi. And he was obsessed. I know he is my guru. I need to go to him. I need to go to him. And in the silence of the night, when he is waiting for it, Lahiri Mashaji appears to him and gives him Kriya Diksha. Kriya Diksha, complete technique is taught to him. And he starts practicing that. And he goes into ecstatic states. But the great doubter human mind, he says, I haven't met my guru. So he finally borrows money and something and goes and buys a ticket and reaches that Takhat of Lahiri Maharshi in Varanasi. And he comes and bows down. He says, Bhupendra Sanyal, why have you come for Kriya? You already have it. This is exactly what all our masters are trying to teach us. We already have it. But because we are searching for it, we think that it is something outside of me, and by reading this, by doing this, I will do it. No. In fact, this very hankering, this very thought process is the one that is creating the problem, creating the hurdle. And again, if I cannot overcome it, how do I overcome this hurdle of my brain? Again, you go back to Autobiography of a Yogi. Master's elder sister's name was Roma, and she got married. Obviously, she was elder to him, got married even before Ananta, and she was married to a very educated person by the name of Satish Chandra Bose. And now this person, educated, but did not believe in existence of God, and certainly used to laugh at the sadhus and saints. And she realized in some time that she needs Kriya, and she got Kriya Diksha from Yogananda Ji in 1914 and started practicing it. And in 1 year, she advanced a lot. But one day when Yogananda Ji had gone to her place in 1915, she called him to the side and started crying. She said, what happened? He says, my husband continuously makes fun of all our gurus and God, and though I know I am feeling the presence of God and Guru within me, but could you help me out? Could you change his mindset? So Yogananda Ji sat and he said, okay, tomorrow convince him to go to Dakshineshwar. We all three of us will go, but do not tell him that we are taking him for any reason or changing of his mind. And she convinced, the way a wife can convince any husband, and they go in a Tonga to that place, and they reach at 7 in the morning. And now this Satish Chandra Ji is saying, I don't know how you can follow these sadhus. They are all dongis, and this is that and that and that. And Yogananda Ji says, okay, no problem. But the rule in Dakshineshwar is, once you go there, you have to tell that you will be having lunch in advance, and then and only then the lunch is served to you. Otherwise, it is not served to you. So now Satish Ji knew this, and he tells to Yogananda, I will not go and speak to any of these sadhus. I leave it to you. You go and arrange for our lunch. So Yogananda Ji says, Divine Mother will take care of our lunch. And I don't know about Divine Mother, I am telling you. And Yogananda Ji sits in one place and starts meditating, and he is meditating there for 5 hours, from 7 to 12. And Satish Chandra Ji is noticing. 3 times he comes and he sees this guy's eyes are up, he is not there, but he doesn't. Ego is there. He doesn't go to the sadhu and says that Pandits that food is going to be served. And at 12 o'clock, Yogananda Ji goes into cosmic consciousness, and Divine Mother becomes big. Because what he says to him, to Divine Mother, is, you came to Ramakrishna Paramahans from this very image. Come to me. And he, in that book, he beautifully describes that image becomes bigger. And she comes out from because at 12 o'clock actually it is closed, the door. And this state, Yogananda Ji lasted in this state for 1 hour, from 12 to 1. And finally, when he came out of that state, he said to Divine Mother, I have come to you so that you help my brother-in-law. And he could see through the temple, through the walls and everything in that state, and he realized Satish Bose is behind the temple, and suddenly something happens to him. He could make out, and he could read his thoughts, that something is happening, and he was taken aback. What is this? Something is happening. But at that time, his hate for Yogananda Ji was also there. Okay, what is this bloody chap doing? He's gotten me here 5 hours, he's wasted of mine. And then Yogananda Ji sees that something happens, but he's not able to comprehend. He comes running to Yogananda and says, I told you to arrange for lunch. Now it is 1 o'clock and the lunch is closed and we will not get lunch. Where is your Divine Mother? And at that moment, the temple priest comes out, comes to Yogananda and says, I have been watching you for the past 5 hours. I have seen a light emanate from you. I feel that I need to give lunch to you and your relatives, and it is served for you. And in that time, when it was a non-mango season, even mangoes were served. And now Satish Ji's diet was gone. He didn't understand what to say. But that in that conflict ego, he did not say a single word to Yogananda ji. And they went back. 2 days later on, Roma ji met Yogananda ji and she was crying. She says, that night, my husband, who was totally anti-God, came to our bedroom and said that the room where she used to meditate was a small room, and she said that will be our bedroom and this will be the temple where we will pray to Divine Mother. And I promise you that I will not meet Yogananda till the time I have had darshan of Divine Mother. And this happened in 1915. Master went to US and came back in 1935-36. That time Satish Ji was posted in Delhi, staying. And Yogananda Ji went to them, and Yogananda Ji himself tells, Satish Ji never slept. He used to meditate throughout the night, not showing to anyone, and he had had the darshan of Divine Mother. But Divine Mother was with him. But it did not end here. The power of Kriya and the power of God's love and inspiration is, Yogananda ji went back, and before he went back, Roma ji said, by that time Satish ji was suffering from a disease which was non-curable. To which Roma ji said to Yogananda ji, just like that in keeping in traditions of the Indian wife, I promise to you that I will leave the body first. He will not go. And she was completely fine. And Yogananda ji's younger brother wrote this in a letter to Yogananda ji when he had gone back to US, that one day she just knew. In the morning she wore her wedding gown or sari and bent down and prayed and said, today I am leaving. And she was perfectly fine. And in that moment she sat, did the third and fourth kriya, left the body. But Satish ji also, within a month, did the same process and left the body. That is the inspiration we all can draw. That is the love of our Guru. Ask for it sincerely. Keep that fire burning, because that is what we will take you across. Do whatever it takes. I am sure all of us sitting here, we have felt something in our meditation, in something. We have heard some sound of the Om. We have saw some light, felt peace, felt bliss, felt joy. If you have felt it even once for small time, it is the truth of all of us. Our masters have said it, and it is the truth. Now, how much sincerely and how much strongly you want it? Is it the most important thing in your life now? Make it. How many lifetimes do you want to waste running after other things? You have been blessed in this life with Kriya Yoga. Just grasp onto it and just immerse yourself in it. May not be the whole day, but whatever time you spend, completely offer yourself, go into that stillness, and you will receive the inspiration. Because the actual inspiration is within us. When you will learn how to access your chakras, access your sushumna, a touch of a chakra and bliss will start overflowing. Such bliss will overflow that you will not be able to contain it. It is existing right now. The biggest proof of it is we are alive in this body. Just learn where to look for it, and they are there to help us.